But first we have got department grant, infrastructure. Yeah.
Not in this meeting. Speak outside.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and everyone present in the meeting. Chair, the time is 10 o'clock now, so you may start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kaka. Good morning, honorable members, administration that has always been with us, also the province of Gauteng, in our midst, the minister, the deputy minister. Let me take this opportunity to extend our greetings as a select committee on behalf of the select committee of education. Our meeting today is specifically dealing with the work that we have already been done, but just trying to follow up in terms of the progress that has been made from since our oversight meeting that we had with the province of Gauteng, specifically dealing with the question of infrastructure that when we went there that were really not happy, specifically to those schools that are supposedly looking to the plight of the majority of our people. We came with one voice as a select committee that something needs to be done and need to be done urgently, Honorable Minister. We even sent some detailed information in order for these issues that we were following can be addressed, and also the question of time frames were very important. So today our meeting will be focusing exactly on those. It's not the question there of ticking the box, but it's the question of also the quality assurance that we can be given, so that when we go back, because we will go back, oversight is continuous. It can't be an issue of a once off. We'll definitely ensure that we are following, because if we are not taking care of our future now, we must not blame anyone, because it's us who failed to follow what was supposed to be followed. So our oversight mandate is clear on those bases. The Constitution allows us to do so. So without further ado, can we adopt first the agenda as adopted? Sorry for moving. I will hide my face also, but just to be seen that at least it's not a computer. Thank you very much.
Chairperson, I'm sorry to disturb you. Before we adopt any agenda, in order for us to participate, let the participant show themselves. For an example, we are having 3 cell phones. The first one is 119747460. The second one is 21612056. The third one is 10992227. We can't continue with the people who are faceless. I'm sorry to say that, because I won't participate as long as they don't identify themselves.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sebande. I think you are correct. It's something that we've adopted as a standard in our meetings, especially our virtual meeting. We can't have identities that cannot be known, even if someone does not show on a face. At least for purposes of records also, we can't keep numbers. Can we be assisted in terms of those, as Miss Kaka, just assist us on those ones, so that we do we don't we do not necessarily want to face, sir. We need your identity there on the cell phone. Your identity on the cell phone, because it's just a number now.
Okay, thanks, Chair. Just saying the 2161, it's my personal number. That is why it's appearing like that. But my name is Makubetse Skonyane from Gauteng Department of Education.
It's not possible that you can change it to a name also here, because everyone here is having the name and that's what the honorable members is pleading with you to do.
Okay, I'll see. I'll check. Thanks.
Yes, yes.
Good day,
can-
Honourable Chair, Minister and colleagues. I'm Paula Galego, Chief Director, Tshwane Region, and I know that my phone sometimes registers as Carlos' iPhone. It's, for some reason, it picks up my husband's number, but it is Paula Galego. I hope that will be in order as well.
No, at least Carlos is better. Okay, because this one is a number. I think that's what the honorable member was raising. But it's not a problem. We will deal with that as well proceeding. Can we adopt the agenda, honorable members? I saw your hand, Honorable Duplessis.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. I move to adopt the agenda.
Yes, thank you. I take that as a seconder of Mr. Sibande on the basis that anything that have to do with that, contrary to what he was raising. Can we get the apologies? Ms. Kaka? Any apologies?
Greetings again, Chair. Yes, Chair, I've got 4 apologies. The first apology from the Minister. She apologized that she won't be able to join us today due to the fact that she's attending a cabinet meeting. The second one is from Honorable Drianse. She's attending the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence meeting. The third one is from Honorable Briet. She's attending public hearings on the Public Administration and Public Management Services Amendment Bill. And the last one is from Honorable Baines. She's been booked off by the doctor. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kaka. I think the apologies are in order and noted as such. Can we agree on that, honorable members? Just to note the apologies. Honorable Duplessis.
Honourable Chair, I move to adopt the apologies.
Thank you very much, Honorable Duplessis.
Mr. Sibande, I rise to support the adoption of the apologies.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sibande. Yes. Can we now proceed straight to the Deputy Minister now that the Minister is not here, our doctor, to take the floor, so that we can proceed with our agenda. Honorable DM, without any further said from our own side, we are handing over to you now to lead us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Greetings to you. I just show my face that you know it's me. It's not a robot.
Thank you
But I
very
will
much,
hide the
Honorable.
face. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Yeah, Chairperson, greetings to you and greetings to all the honorable members of the Select Committee on Education, Science and Creative Industries. Greetings to the MEC for Gauteng, Honorable Chilwane. He's also in the meeting. I saw the office of the DG, but I didn't see the DG himself. But yes, we acknowledge the apology of the minister.
I'm in the meeting, dear.
Oh, DG, thank you. Thank you that the head of department is here and the head of department for Gauteng is also in the meeting. Officials from national and provincial Gauteng Provincial Education Department. They are all here, and greetings to everyone in the platform. Chair, I really appreciate what you just alluded to, that the oversight is not just a ticket box. And it pleases us also as a department that you are there to keep us going, to see the things that we may not see for ourselves. This morning, we're here to brief the Select Committee on Education, Science and Creative Industries on the oversight visit to Gauteng Province, which took place on 21 to 22 October 2024. And to me, this visit served as a pivotal mechanism for legislative bodies to monitor and evaluate the progress made by the Provincial Education Department in our schools, and to ensure that the executive is held accountable for the delivery of quality education. And that's what we want, not to say that we want to run away from accountability. We took oath of office because we want to account to the people of South Africa. So the Gauteng Education Department will furthermore respond to issues raised by members of the Select Committee during the oversight visit and the report thereof. Furthermore, Gauteng shall outline on the progress made by the department on school governing body training, capacity building, financial management, policy development and review, learner discipline, bullying in schools, recruitment and selection on schools improvement planning. And I believe that the department is ready with that. And without waste of time, Chair, I want to hand over to the MEC for Gauteng, MEC Matume Chilwane, who will then give us the person who's going to give the presentation. With your permission, Chair, can I allow the MEC to take over? MEC?
Thank you, Honorable TM. Also, apologies to the leadership of Gauteng. It's an oversight that I didn't sort in terms of what is is highlighted here, but at least on your behalf, Honorable TM, they are welcomed to the meeting. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chair. Yeah, we took it as we created the department. I don't think they feel offended, but MEC is here, as I alluded. MEC Chilwane, we have been given the platform to take over. We're not going to time to give back to the chair. So.
Thank you, TM. Thank you so much. The chair, greetings to the honorable chair, and I know you want to see me as well. I hope you can see me.
Yes, leadership, yes.
Yes, honorable chair, honorable members on call, leadership of both the national departments, led by the DG and the HOD. I want to move on the sentiments that have been highlighted by the DM, but we should not take much time. I will give to the HOD, Mr. Rufus Mutana, who then will be able to adequately move with the presentations. Through you, Chair, can I give the HOD?
Yes, MEC.
HOD? HOD? He is in the meeting, I can see him. Rufus?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Thank you very much, MEC. Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Deputy Minister, DG, colleagues, and everybody present in the meeting. MEC, as per your permission, we have arranged that our DDG, Alison Bengtson, will lead the presentation, given the fact that she's got access to the presentation. And indeed, in our presentation, we try to respond to all the issues, questions, and matters raised by the Select Committee on their on-site visit as per our report, but we also made an update on that particular report as of this week. Therefore, the report will touch on all more than 50 issues which were raised by the Select Committee. Without further ado, Honorable Chair, let me hand over to DDG Allison.
Good morning. I'm not sure, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson and all the honorable members, our Deputy Minister, DG, MEC, HOD, and all the senior officials in the meeting. May I check if the presentation is going to be flighted? The first one would be on the report based on the 53 questions that were sent through to us. Can I check if it's going to be flighted?
Yes, that for convenience purposes, we do have our own copies, but it's going to be assisting. Also, it will be flighted. Can you assist Ms. Kaka? If you can do also on your own side, you can do it.
I think it would be better if it's flighted. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can load
Sitando,
it.
can you assist also to in the flighting of the presentation?
Can I check if it is? Can I check if it is loaded? I've tried to load.
Yes, it's loaded. It's loaded. You can proceed, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to also close. Okay, perfect. Let me put it on slideshow, Chairperson. Okay. So this report to the Select Committee is obviously based on the oversight visit that was undertaken on the 21st to the 22nd of October 2024. The committee raised a number of issues based from the meeting, from the visit, and the department was then required, subsequent to that, to compile a report to respond to the issues that were raised by the Select Committee. And we submitted our first report on the 4th of November, 2025. The report that I'll provide now will give an update on the report that was provided on the 4th of November. We thought that it would be useful for us to just provide an overview of the GDE 5-year plan. And our plan is aligned to the medium-term development plan, which serves as a foundation for long-term socioeconomic progress. The Gauteng medium-term development plan also aligns to the national medium-term development plan. And the education focus in particular is located within strategic priority 2, which is about improving living conditions and enhancing health and well-being. The key approach for education in this term is focused on ECD and improving basic quality education across all grades, and as well as safety in schools. The Gauteng medium-term development plan also seeks to improve literacy and numeracy across all grades, with particular focus on children developing language proficiency by the age of grade 10. Now, to crystallize those goals, we have as the GDE our 5-year priorities. The first one is strategy 1, focused on ECD, as I indicated. The second one focuses on promoting quality education across all classrooms and schools. And that's linked to the improvement of language and reading and literacy and maths in the GT band, implementing our MST strategy, our technical high school strategy, and also our FET improvement plan that supports the secondary school intervention program. Strategy 3 is about changing the educational landscape to accelerate relevant and quality learning. And under the strategy, we are looking at how we are modernizing our schools to reduce overcrowding and improve infrastructure, the implementation of our reorganization of schools program, creating safe schools, our schools of specialization, intensifying SGB and district support. Strategy 4 is about creating safe schools that embodies social cohesion, patriotism, and non-violence. We also, in the strategy, implement school sports, arts, and culture programs in all of our schools, school health, psychosocial support, and also pro-poor interventions like scholar transport and school nutrition. So that was just by way of providing an overview. I'm now going to go into the actual questions that were raised by the Portfolio Committee and provide an update on the original responses that we provided on the 4th of November. The first question was that Gauteng is a target for bogus schools, and this is independent schools. How does the department deal with these bogus schools? When we first responded, we indicated that we have a 4A strategy. In other words, we focus on advocacy, alliance, activism, and accountability. And we explained in detail under each one, how do we make sure that we make the public aware of what would constitute a bogus school, especially in communities where there's a high prevalence. Also, we have established we have hotline numbers so that the communities can, or the public can indicate where they are illegally operating schools, and our officials deal with those hotlines. We also have strong relationships with relevant departments, Home Affairs, municipalities, PCOs, SAPs, and obviously the department where we conduct raids to deal with these schools. Now, just in terms of an update, we, as of the 17th of July, in Ekurhuleni North, the Independent School Directorate, they collaborated with the district officials as well as with the municipality and the governing bodies. Within the municipalities, they've got different sections: environmental health, fire and safety in the Ekurhuleni municipality. And all of these stakeholders help to be able to identify where we have these bogus schools. Specifically, the directorate conducted a raid on 7 reported and identified illegally operating schools in the Ekurhuleni North District. All the 7 schools were instructed to cease operations with immediate effect. And in addition, these schools were issued with letters of closure that were signed by the HOD. In addition to this, 5 illegally operating schools around the Kaya Sand Randburg area were also closed. And what we do when we close schools as a normal practice is that we place the learners in neighboring public or registered independent schools. And the district officials are involved in dealing with the placement. I spoke about this is what we responded to in the previous term around activism and accountability. These are the names of the illegal schools. We thought it would be useful to provide the names of the illegal schools. This is the 7 in Ekurhuleni North, and then we have the 5 in the Kaya Sands Randburg area. And we've provided a status for each of the schools. The second question was that many learners died in public transport, and how do we ensure that learners are safe? In our original response, we indicated that we have a relationship with the Department of Community Safety and Roads and Transport. and they assist us. The partnership assists us in dealing with the inspection of buses, impounding unworthy buses, checking compliance, and making sure that each bus has a conductor. We also said that we were in the process of procuring an e-tracking system to allow us to monitor the learners in transit. Now, we have engaged and still have our relationship with the Department of Roads and Transport, with our sister departments. And we, as the GDE, took a decision not to renew the contract of 30 monitors and 3,600 bus conductors who were employed to monitor. And obviously it makes it difficult to identify delinquency. The challenge is that we are facing financial constraints, and we also, as a result, are unable to procure the e-tracking system. The third question is there a process of vetting and screening on patrollers? The patrollers are recruited via the CPF, and they are taken for screening through SAPS. We don't do vetting. Vetting is done by State Security Agency just for permanent and contract employees. And currently, 3/4 of the cohort have been screened, not vetted, screened, and they were further inducted by SAPS and CPF. The fourth question is, how do we deal with gangsterism and drugs in schools? We had indicated that we have a partnership with SAPS, and part of the partnership includes searches and seizures. They are announced and unannounced. They are announced and unannounced blitzes as well. And we also look at, it's also extended to the shebeens operating near schools. The update is that we are pleased that there's a formal collaboration now between DBE and SAPS, which is termed the Collaborative Implementation Protocol. It obviously also enhances our relationship as GDE with SAPS in Gauteng. The police stations have active partnerships with various safety coordinators in respective districts. We have appointed officials, and they undertake these search and seizure operations to report on them every quarter. The fifth question, measures must be put in place to deal with the 225 high-risk schools. In our first response, we indicated that all of our schools have patrollers. We also provide extra security guards to 87 of the 245 schools that are at an extreme level of high risk. And we are reviewing those schools to establish whether those risks still exist. This is what we said on the 4th of November. And also to review the criteria for the 245 schools, because a school may, the risk and crimogenic factors are at times temporary. And so the school, once the school is secured, the risk and crime factors shift to the next school that may have less security. Our update is that there is this collaborative protocol between DB, GDE, and SAPS. Also that all our no-fee paying public schools benefit from the patroller program. However, 75 and not 87 schools are at extreme risk, are allocated additional security guards. And we've said that this is at the initial stages because we still need to determine the level of risk. In terms of dealing with vandalism in schools, we indicated originally that we have procured the services of private security companies, as well as the deployment of patrollers. And we are finalizing our MOU with community safety, which will include the deployment of traffic wardens. The update is that the patroller program is active in schools, but the security guards program has proven to be financially unsustainable, and we've had to descale it, downsize that program. The 7th question is, there are issues of safety in schools and the department needs to consider collaborating with the Department of Community Safety. We do work closely with them currently. We have active ties. We don't have an MOU as yet to regulate the roles and responsibilities of the parties concerned. But in the previous questions, we've indicated that we do have active ties with the Department of Community Safety. The 8th question is that there are many reported incidents with learner transport. The department needs to appoint a bus company that is compliant to transport learners. Initially, we indicated that in our report that we do ensure that all the appointed companies are compliant. There are challenges during operations where once compliant, then the company fails to pay to test the bus or pay for vehicle license renewal. And this is where our relationship with the Department of Roads and Transport and Community Safety is crucial. They assist us in checking the roadworthiness and compliance of the buses. And through our monitoring processes as GDE, we do report non-compliance to the relevant authorities for further handling. Currently, we are in the process of signing an MOU with both departments to strengthen the monitoring of the buses, and we are just awaiting the list of vehicle testing stations from Roads and Transport to facilitate the testing of the buses. The 9th question is the bullying of learners by teachers and other learners, and what other measures have we put in place. We indicated initially that we have anti-bullying campaigns at our school, and also where it occurs and has been reported, we follow through with the necessary processes to ensure that the perpetrators are disciplined, depending on the scale of the bullying. And obviously, schools themselves have the authority in terms of SASSA to implement disciplinary actions against learners who engage in severe forms of bullying, and this may include suspension or expulsion after following due processes. The department, we do have a exemplar school anti-bullying policy, and it's still in the planning mediation workshop stage. That was on the 4th of November. Currently, the GDE, we are in partnership again with SAPS, Social Development Department, and other NGOs, supporting NGOs. They are helping to roll out advocacy campaigns and school talks to encourage victims to report the incidences to school managers. We still deal with them, the perpetrators. Alleged perpetrators are held to account through disciplinary hearings that may result in expulsions. Schools are also required to develop compliant code of conduct for learners in line with SASSA, and also the policy was about to be mediated through training workshops. We had to pause because of cost-cutting measures and financial constraints. However, we are looking at ways in which you can do it through using digital platforms, online platforms, to still run those workshops. The 10th question, social issues such as violence. Do schools have social workers to assist learners? Well, our public ordinary schools do not have site-based GDE-appointed social workers. Some of the schools have appointed social workers. The GDE social work team, which is just one social work manager and 3 social work supervisors, they are based at the provincial office, GDE, and they respond to referrals for intervention at schools. And also to increase the department's capacity, we have signed an MOU with the Department of Social Development and NGOs to help to ensure access to specialist and crisis intervention services. The update is that the GDE DSD 5-year MOU is still in place until 2028, and we have an NGO partnership with 4 registered childcare and child justice organizations, and this is managed on a month-to-month basis. Question 11, what contributes to overcrowding in schools? We provided a response on the 4th of November. We understand that it's overcrowding is caused by lack of infrastructure, by migration, and also we have, in terms of the influx of learners from different provinces and countries to Gauteng, and it adds to the overcrowding challenges. New developments in formal sectors all poses a challenge for us because schools are not built necessarily they don't make provision for the fact that there may not be schools in the area when there's developments. And that is still the case at the moment. Are all learners in quintile and no-fee schools on the nutrition program? We have indicated that the conditional grant framework caters for learners in quintile 1 to 3, and these are fed daily. Quintile 4 and 5 learners in GDE in no-fee schools, we feed them through the provincial equitable share. Overcrowding is a huge problem and affects the quality of education. In our original response, we gave an indication of what research says about the relationship between overcrowding and educational outcomes. And then we also indicated how we are trying to alleviate overcrowding in Gauteng schools, or the consequences of overcrowding schools or in Gauteng, and so that we can still have an improved quality of education for our learners. These strategies are where we build new schools in high demand areas. Also, we're expanding existing facilities by adding more classrooms, and that would be what we would call our self-build program. We also provide mobile classrooms to schools that don't have sufficient classrooms as a temporary solution. We provide funds to schools to manage self-build classroom projects. And of course, we also undertake assessments to identify underutilized schools so that we can refurbish the schools and redistribute the learners to these schools. 14, what kind of education system does the GDE aim for, and how far is the department from reaching that goal? In November, we gave an indication of the kind of system that we want: high quality, inclusive and equitable education system that meets the diverse needs of all learners. And our update is that our NSC results have increased incrementally over the past several years. In 2024, the overall pass rate increased by 3% from 85.38 to 88.41, and our bachelor pass rate by almost 6% from 44.3 to 50.27. Also, importantly, the gap in performance between township schools and other schools, the suburb schools, has reduced over the past few years. And in 2024, the pass rate differed by 5.7% in comparison to a difference of 11% in 2023. So the gap closed by 6.3% between the 2 years. So the quality of education offered at township schools is comparable to that of other schools. We also provide feedback on learner performance to all levels of the system through analysis of our learner performance data, so that interventions can be put in place to address the needs as they appear. The 15th question, what kind of support does the department offer to learners and teachers? We indicated the different types of support that we provide to learners and teachers: access to quality education, academic support, psychosocial support, parental involvement, financial support, school nutrition, scholar transport, and then safety initiatives, as well as promoting diversity and inclusivity. And just to indicate that in terms of parental support, we make sure that our school governing bodies fill their incidental vacancies so that they can continue to lead from a governance point of view in our schools with the complete component of SGB members. Principals are required to present to the SGB the academic performance of the school and to discuss in SGB meetings how management could be supported to deliver quality education. Monitoring and oversight is conducted through quarterly school readiness processes and through the completion of the SGB functionality tool, as well as the completion of the annual academic performance report. And the SGB plays a crucial role in the completion of this report. In terms of financial support, all schools receive transfer allocations for Section 21 functions, Sections A, C, and D, and schools are trained on school financial management. SGBs are also responsible for ensuring that they deal with the planning processes in the school development plan, school improvement plans, and it outlines activities that require the attention of the SGB and management so that it can make sure that they have a functional school. SGBs are monitored and supported as they are required to present their school budget at an AGM and submit their audited financial statements to the department at the end of June of each year. In terms of inclusivity and diversity, we are emphasizing the implementation of the CIAS policy, screening, identification, assessment, and support policy to enforce and promote inclusive education right from grade R, so that as soon as we identify challenges with the learners, there is a support program that is put in place to be able to assist the learners. Question 16, what is the average number of learners per classroom and per teacher? And what is the department currently standing at? We did provide that response on the 4th of November. We had indicated that we have at a system level, when we determine the learner-educator ratio, we have an average of 30 learners per educator. And when we calculate this ratio for state-paid educators only, this rises to 35 learners per educator. These ratios can be discerned for all primary schools at 32 to 1, 32 learners to 1 teacher, secondary schools 29 learners to 1 teacher when accounting for all educators. When you only look at the state-paid educators, the ratios increase: primary 37 to 1 and secondary 33 to 1. So when we look at an average class size at a system level, we obtain an average of 39 learners per class. When we disaggregate it by primary and secondary, it shows 38 learners per class in a primary school and 39 learners per class in a secondary school in Gauteng. That's at a system level. 17 do teach, and that's the status, that's the current status now as well. 17, do teachers stay in the department, or is there a large number leaving the department? The educator turnover in the department, we indicated on the 4th of November, was within the world general acceptable norm of 15%, and it may be attributed to various reasons: job security, promotion of employee rights, or labor harmony. And there is no empirical data that suggests that educators who resign from the department join private schools. The educators provide different reasons during the termination of services. We did indicate that the anecdotal analysis indicates that some educators primarily resign for financial reasons, to cash in their pension, and then they hope to be re-employed in the sector. That is the current status at the moment as well. 18, what is the current teacher shortage in terms of learners in Gauteng? We have not registered any major concern on shortages of teachers in GDE. We currently have an unemployed educator database of 55,000 qualified educators. And that is at the moment, as of the 17th, We currently have an unemployed educator database of 97,000 qualified educators. What is the average number of learners per classroom, per teacher, and what is the department currently standing at? I think I've responded, or maybe I went back. 20, did the department reach out to schools that pay school fees or private schools to assist the schools in need? We had indicated initially that the department does reach out to fee-paying public schools to assist them as the need arises. Private schools qualify for subsidies and are provided with subsidies, obviously, to assist them. Currently, the department has issued letters to fee-paying schools to apply for compensation of school fees exempted to parents who are unable to pay school fees. And applications from schools, from the schools were received on the 30th of June. Independent schools applied for subsidies for the current financial year, and 287 of these were approved for subsidies. 21, public-private partnerships. Is the department initiating these partnerships? The department does initiate partnerships with the private sector. The focus is not only on sports and bursaries only, but also on infrastructure projects, and that is the case at the moment. There was also concern raised by the Committee on the Climate Change Impact. We have collaborated with the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, and they've conducted climate change workshops in schools. In terms of population growth, how is the department planning on population growth? And we did give a detailed explanation on how we deal with population, with the planning in terms of population growth, from us participating in the municipal integrated development planning for spatial development planning. We track learner growth, and we can indicate that the system has grown at an average of 2% per year over the period 2014 to 2024 in the public ordinary schooling sector. And the tracking of the learner growth and the reflection on class sizes, it obviously informs our planning annually. Some of our planning also is informed through the work of the infrastructure management team, the physical planning section and property management chief directorate. They do regular infrastructure learner capacity audits, and in consultation with the municipalities through the IDP analysis. And the audit informs our allocation of resources to accommodate additional learners. We also review our long-term plans that are detailed in the infrastructure asset management plan, and it's informed by demand management requirements of the department. It's got a 10-year outlook and provides a detailed program and project list with budget for the current planning year and subsequent 2 years in line with the MTEF. And that's the status at the moment. What are the plans to curb collusion between contractors, municipalities, and department? We have ongoing engagements with municipalities around this matter. Do schools have running water, sports grounds, sanitation, and are there schools with pit toilets? In Gauteng, all of our schools have access to running water. Where there are disruptions, the department delivers trucked water to these schools. In terms of sanitation, all of our schools have access to sanitation. Where there's service disruption, schools are provided with temporary chemical toilets. Pit toilets, there are no pit toilets in Gauteng schools. Sports grounds, in terms of the infrastructure norms and standards, they must have access to space where physical education can be practiced. And unfortunately, because of the growth in our schools, not all of our schools have access to these spaces. So you share with other schools near where they are. The status remains the same currently, and in that the delivery of basic services does remain in the hands of municipalities or utility services. We continue to provide delivery. however, through alternative means, more so when these basic services, the infrastructure is aged and results in persistent delivery disruptions. Do schools have alternative energy while learners are writing exams? Service disruptions due to load shedding causes schools not to have consistent supply of electricity to schools. This was 4th of November. New schools, we do provide them with backup power. However, the rest of the schools do not have access to power during these shutdowns. And where schools that have elongated periods without electricity, we provide them with generators. The department is currently exploring various programs to provide schools with solar power, but it's a mass rollout is not possible because of budgetary constraints. So that's the status around alternative energy. No maintenance at schools. Question 27. All schools have a budget allocation for maintenance. And school governing bodies, they are responsible to ensure that they maintain the school environment using, it's a 12% allocation of the norms and standards. And in cases where the budget is above that allocation, the department has a system where the school makes a request for service, and the process is in place to address such a request. To date, more than 200 schools have received day-to-day maintenance through this process. 28 state reasons why the department cannot build schools in informal settlements. According to the IDMS, schools cannot be built on unproclaimed land, and that is still the current status. 29, infrastructure. What is the current status of renovating old township schools and how many are fixed to date? 80% of our schools' infrastructure as of November last year was built pre-1994. The department, we continue to maintain approximately 350 schools per annum to ensure that they're kept in a good state. However, given the age and overutilization, many of the schools have to be rehabilitated or upgraded. And given the budgetary limitations, the department prioritizes them based on their conditions. The target for the current financial year is 300 schools. School facilities must be enough. The department, we are working with implementing agents to meet the requirement of learners in the province. Currently, through collaboration with partners and implementing agents, the department has 20 projects that are currently under construction and are expected to be completed in the current year and MTEF. This will not only introduce new learning spaces in the province, but also replace some of the spaces that were built out of inappropriate material. It should, however, be noted that the need for new spaces is a moving target and will need more time and resources and possibly a new innovative approach to curriculum delivery to meet the needs of the province. Unfinished projects, the department must deal with the contractors. The response that we provided was that there is a multi-departmental forum established by the Premier's office that seeks to ensure that all departments are assisted in completing challenging projects. Currently, this forum has yielded the completion of Maibuye. The rest of the projects have had completion contractors appointed or contractors are in the process of being appointed. 32, there are allegations that a number of buildings in Gauteng, CBD and Tshwane that belong to the Department of Public Works are occupied by illegal people. MEC to communicate with the Department of Public Works because these spaces may assist in terms of the overcrowding that we have or lack of learner space. The department, as of the 17th, we've requested a list of Public Works owned buildings from the custodian department, DID, so that we can assess their state and suitability, and it will assist the department in determining the ones that have the potential to meet the department's needs in order to plan for acquisition and renovations. 33, there's a lot of red tape that the department needs to deal with. GDE, as the user department, needs to improve its relationship with DID and implementing agents. The department, in response, we've indicated that we have established an IGR with all stakeholders to improve turnaround times for the delivery of capital projects. And these meetings are starting to yield positive results given the number of projects that are expected to reach completion at the end of this financial year. 34, criminal investigations and mismanagement of funds. How will the department reclaim monies? Legal services, in such instances, they refer the matters to the state attorney to recover the claims, and the department takes action on the individuals that fall or the areas that fall within our competency. Are government resources used correctly? Yes, they are used correctly, and it's supported by the clean audit that we've received for the past 2 years. And as of the 17th, with regards to SGBs, where mismanagement or misuse of government funds is identified, investigations are conducted, members of SGBs that are found to be in contravention are removed from the SGBs, or the entire SGB is disbanded. And in Annexure A, which is a separate presentation, we have actually indicated in detail the instances where we've removed the functions, financial functions allocated to schools, or where we have disbanded SGBs. It's in a separate presentation. 36, when will the outcome of the forensic report for school uniforms be made public? Currently, as of the 17th, the department, we've met with officials. The department met with the officials from the competition board in June. Chairperson, may I continue?
Yes, you can. No, I'm trying to protect you from this noise. Thank you. You can proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. So we have met with the officials of the competition board in June 2025, where we discussed the outcomes of the uniform audit. The competition board members committed to embark on an advocacy and information sharing campaign in all our schools in the province, where the investigation outcomes will be shared. How does the department deal with students that are found with ammunition at schools? Also allegations that some schools have learners who are in possession of drugs. We did provide a response on the 4th around the searches. Schools are authorized to conduct searches where there's a reasonable suspicion of the presence of illegal substances or weapons. Department also conducts awareness campaigns, and the department also works in collaboration with SAPS around the search and seizures, and disciplinary processes unfold where learners are in conflict with the code of conduct. Currently, schools have been familiarized with such authority, but evidence from the ground does suggest that many school managers undergo serious intimidation and are sometimes reluctant to enforce this responsibility. But we are working with SAPS and Department of Social Development and civil society in the form of NGOs, so that we can support our schools, support our principals in ensuring that we deal with this scourge where it occurs. 38, vendors. Does the department monitor the vendors that sell snacks to learners at schools? We originally indicated that the DBE had issued guidelines on the monitoring of vendors, and currently, as of the 17th of July, SGBs and SMTs are ensuring that vendors have a certificate of acceptability before being approved by the SGB to sell food to learners at schools, and the schools are monitoring the food sold to learners to ensure that they comply with the DBE guidelines. Is there a large number of drug abuse cases, and what measures do we have in place? We did give a detailed response on the 4th of November. We work closely with Department of Social Development and also with accredited NPOs. We have 500 Kimoja coaches deployed to schools, our high-risk schools, indicated in previous response. We work with SAPs to support us, but we also take the learners on excursions to prisons. They do prison visits. A Dr. Cop is also being implemented in some of these schools. We also have 500 learner support agents. They deployed at identified schools to help with the psychosocial issues. Currently, we've issued memos to public schools where the SMTs and SGBs are reminded to support the collaboration between the Department of Social Development and GDE on the implementation of the Kimoja program and the deployment of the Kimoja coaches in the schools. We have ongoing health promotion sessions, the LSAs, and the new cohort of BEEI care and support assistants deployed in schools also assist with the prevention and awareness on psychosocial issues. Our MEC has had roadshows in all the 4 regions in the province that focused on school safety and substance abuse issues in schools, in our schools. How are teachers trained and empowered to deal with overcrowding? We train our teachers on classroom management and discipline. And in our update, we've indicated that in 2024, through the Learning Recovery Program, which is a national mandate, there was a module on classroom management and discipline. And we've indicated the schools and the teachers that were trained on classroom management provincially. Then also through our QMS processes, the quality management system processes at provincial level, we have also trained teachers on classroom management and discipline. In 2025, through our induction program, 1,047 newly appointed teachers received training on classroom management and discipline. And we've also provided the list of schools and the teachers. And where teachers have not attended the training, the team is engaging with those schools, the principals, to make sure that they attend the follow-up trainings that we'll be having. And we've indicated at the bottom of the slide the dates on which the training will occur, the ongoing training will occur. Learners with special needs in ECD centers, are there enough practitioners for these learners? We had initially indicated that we don't have enough practitioners. We currently implementing training programs for practitioners to acquire level 4 qualifications so that they comply with the approved, with the provided standards. And currently the department conducts screening of grade R learners in public schools. That's through the CS policy that I mentioned earlier on. But due to the specialized skills required, it's not enough. We don't have enough in support, in the department to be able to support the number of learners through that require additional support, because we identify the challenges and we must provide and assess, and we must provide support. However, we do provide support through school-based support teams. So every school has got school-based support teams. So that would be for the grade Rs that are in public schools. 42, there are several private ECDs. What measures are put in place to ensure that the practitioners have the necessary qualifications? And how do we ensure that centers are brought to standard? Our response as of the 17th of the 7th is that we are in the process, the DBE is in the process of developing a human resource development strategy for the ECD workforce. And the draft document is currently being consulted with various stakeholders. The development of the monitoring and evaluation standards for ECD is still in progress by the DBE. The 500 ECD practitioners that was mentioned on the 4th of November enrolled for ECD NQF level 4 by GD. They're still in the program and they're due to complete in March 2026. How does the department ensure over and above, ensure that we provide support to our learners? We did provide a response on the 4th of November about how we support our learners to perform well throughout the year and during the exam. Currently, in 2025, for the class of 25, we have an FET strategy that focuses on 4 key pillars. We have targets that we've set for this year. Our 2025 NEC target is 91%. Bachelor pass target is 55%. Our target for distinctions is 8%. And for progress learners is 65%. And our strategy for this year has 4 key pillars. The one is support for progress learners and high-risk learners. These are the learners who are most likely, if we don't support them, are most likely to fail. So a key pillar of our strategy focuses on progress learners and high-risk learners. And so we provide 70% of our attention is on these learners. The progress learners, you might recall, are promoted to grade 12, not meeting the requirements to be in grade 12, and they are progressed from as early as grade 11 and supported to ensure we support them from grade 11. And we have that target of making sure that the progress learner pass rate, we want to get at least 65% of them passing in 2025. Support for high-risk learners, these are learners that failed one subject in grade 11, and obviously were promoted to grade 12. We profile all of these learners, so we know which subjects they failed, which learners they are per school, the subjects they failed, and the level at which they failed, and we have intervention strategies to support these schools. Our secondary school improvement program also focuses primarily on our progress learners and our high-risk learners. We also have a support strategy, a 3rd pillar for home languages. We know that no learner can fail a home language. If they fail a home language, they fail the exam. So we have dedicated interventions for home language and also support for syllabus coverage and school-based assessment. In addition, around GET, that's grade R to grade 9, we also have our interventions that focus on reading, language, numeracy, literacy, and there's a strong emphasis on our language and reading improvement program and our maths improvement program. We also ensure that we do analysis of learner performance throughout the year. So starting from the beginning of the year, we receive the reports from DBE on our performance, and those reports are used to determine interventions for the new financial year. And every term, we do these analyses of the term data, and it informs the interventions that we put in place in line with the areas of priority that I mentioned earlier on. We workshop our schools so that they also know how to analyze learner performance data and use it to inform their interventions as well. There's a strong moderation component that we have, and quality assurance of assessment that is conducted at all levels in the system. We also have moderation processes that we put in place to maintain quality standards in the province. Districts continuously monitor progress at school level. Head office also monitors and supports the districts, and the district forms a key area of intervention and support for our schools. 44, the department is to provide the committee with a comprehensive plan on how it plans to implement the Bella Act. Currently, the Act of 2024 is now being progressively implemented. The DBE has mediated the department GDE. We've mediated Bella in 4 districts with 2 SGB associations, and the mediation sessions to the remaining 12 districts and the remaining SGB associations are ongoing. One is happening today, but we'll complete them by the end of July. We also, as a department, will be issuing directives and circulars on the implementation of certain sections of Bella to schools and SGBs during the course of the year. Budget cuts, how does it influence teacher posts and measures the department put in place? We had indicated in November that the teacher posts are not affected, as the same number of posts allocated in 2024 academic year will be allocated in the 2025 academic year. Administration and support posts do not receive the same protection and will follow a concurrence process where we will engage with the Treasury. A submission by the MEC has been made to the Office of the Premier. That was last year. Currently, the austerity measures that, on the filling of support posts came to an end on the 31st of March, 2025. So these posts now are currently being filled in line with the approved recruitment plan for this financial year. And spending is currently within our budget limits. The budget must be increased to handle all pressures. Last year, we had indicated that we submitted a bid for additional funding to address areas of pressure. Unfortunately, we were not able to get those additional funds. Our current status is that the department, as I said, we could not be assisted with additional funding in the 2025 MTEF. We had additions, though, in personnel, infrastructure, and the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative. In terms of personnel, despite the increase, further reprioritization is required from other areas to reduce the personnel costs. We currently sitting as a department with a 4 billion budget pressure on areas which include scholar transport, school nutrition for quintiles 4 and 5, school subsidies, school safety and security, ICT in schools, school furniture, relocation of office. Our head office is being relocated, and infrastructure. But the department, we will continue to engage Treasury for solutions as our budget continues to experience large cuts whilst learner numbers continue to increase. Inclusive of the reprioritization to fund personnel, the department had to cut over 4 billion from all the programs of the department despite the increasing learner numbers. Department owing municipalities, that was an area raised. The current status is that the department's current budget was exhausted by the accruals from the previous financial year. The functions of schools and associated resources have thus been returned to schools to be managed at school level to avoid schools losing their allocations due to accruals. 48, budget implication on establishing grade R in all schools. The GDE is, we are working on the budget implications for establishing these classes, and it's envisaged that there'll be an increased demand on financial, human resources, infrastructure, transport, school nutrition, and LTSM provisioning in an already constrained environment, and that is still the case. Why was the SGB election put on billboards and politicized? We provided a response on the 4th of November to that question. 50, there's an allegation that the hiring of principals is politicized. We also provided a response on the 4th of November saying that we have not received any evidence of such, and all GDE stakeholders have been trained on the recruitment and selections guidelines and policy, including sharing relevant material to capacitate interview committees. And where we receive reports of instances that contravene the guidelines or the policy, the department does intervene. How does the department deal with and address the issue of foreign learners? In line with the Constitution, the Department of Education ensures that foreign learners are treated equally and have the right to basic education. Schools do not deny permission to undocumented or foreign learners, and this was endorsed by the Phakamisa court ruling. How does the department deal with sexual assault and psychological impact on learners? The cases of abuse is dealt with in terms of the protocol on the management and reporting of sexual abuse and harassment in schools. The protocol was developed to equip the DBE at all levels, basic education, especially school management teams, district directors, provincial management managers with the necessary guidelines to manage and effectively report all instances of sexual abuse and harassment as mandated by the Sexual Offences and Related Matters Amendment. The protocol further provides a guide to the management and reporting of sexual abuse and harassment. Currently, the DBE and the GDE protocol documents are currently being reviewed to align it to the amendments to the SORMA Act. The protocols must be mediated to ensure that all school staff are aware of their mandatory obligation to report the commission of sexual offences against children or persons who are mentally disabled. In respect of Duzenindlela Secondary School, the case was reported as a rumor. The department investigated the matter and the veracity of the allegations could not be established, and the allegation against the principal was deemed to be unfounded because of lack of evidence. 53, GDE is the hub for economic activities and all schools must be equipped with labs and equipment. We did indicate that this falls within the mandate of the school governing bodies, labs and equipment. It falls outside the mandate of the department. Computers are within the management of the school. There are 583 schools that are part of the Department Schools of the Future program, and part of this program includes the installation of WAN and LAN as part of the GBN connectivity rollout. On infrastructure issues now, there were specific issues raised against certain schools, and this report provides details per school. So one of the schools was Lancia Vale Secondary School. It was found that there was rubble in front of the classrooms. That rubble was removed from the school through the assistance of community members. 4 mobiles were delivered to the school for curriculum delivery continuity. Condition assessment was concluded and works order prepared. But however, the work has so far not been implemented due to budgetary constraints. We are working as a department on a submission to have the maintenance budget increased in the midterm budget adjustment period so that it can address this particular project. Nokutula Special School, following the visit of the Select Committee, the department continued to raise the matter with DID and followed up with the letter on the 8th of May 2025 detailing the request to address the rapidly dilapidated school and we are awaiting a response from DID. Lebogang Primary School, the department acknowledges the shortage of ablution blocks at the school and will fulfill this requirement in compliance with the infrastructure norms and standards. With the growing population in the province, schools had to accommodate more learners that were originally intended was originally intended through the provision of additional classrooms in existing schools. This has effectively resulted in more learner numbers without the requisite number of ablution facilities. We are looking at getting additional funding through the adjustment, budget adjustment period. Infrastructure, Tembisa School of Specialization, focusing on commerce, entrepreneurship, and hospitality. The department has appointed 3 service providers for plumbing, electrical, and roof repairs. The leaking pipe was fixed. The leaking roof was replaced, including the ceiling and general painting. These projects had to be prioritized before the end of the 2024-2025 financial year because of the urgency. The maintenance of the ablution facilities has been prioritized, and the project is anticipated to be completed by the end of July 2025. In terms of the same school, Tembisa School of Specialization, the principal post, the principal is currently reporting to the district office following a refusal to accept the proposed placement, citing financial implications. In the interim, the department has appointed a caretaker principal from Ikusasa Comprehensive to ensure continuity. The deputy principal post, the school qualifies for 2 posts. 1 has been successfully filled. The second post is in the process of being filled and is on the desk of the district director. The departmental head post, the school qualifies for 9 posts. 1 is vacant. All posts have been filled except for the one which is pending finalization due to outstanding verification of results. Lebogang Primary School, the recommendation for the appointment of principal was approved, and the first candidate declined the appointment. So the file recommending the second candidate will be routed on the 21st of July for approval by the HOD. Philadelphia Special School, the transfer of a special nurse from Northwest Province was approved and implemented on Purcell from the 1st of February this year. Soshanguve Secondary School, the school has 2 deputy posts, 1 of which is filled. The second one will be advertised in the next open vacancy circular now in July 2025. Chairperson, thank you very much. That's the presentation. And I wanted to check, Chairperson, whether, because we've put in the SGB presentation where we had looked at the procedure for the withdrawals. How do we deal with withdrawal of functions, the procedure for the removal of SGBs, and the status of each case since 2022. We've also included all of the trainings that we have and are providing to our SGBs. We've given it as an extra A, and I want to check, Chairperson, if we can consider. I'm not sure how you would want me to deal with it, or can it be part of the package that is being read by the select honourable members, select committee honourable members. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know if MEC wanted to say something before we hand over officially to you. MEC, are you covered with the presentation? Then, which I know it represents the department and the sector as a whole. Over to you, Chair. You'll advise us on the issue of the SGPs as DDG indicated. Chairperson?
Thank you, DM. DM, no. If you are covered in terms of the presentations and then everything, I don't think that members. I think they will engage. However, I do not want to deny an opportunity to make a presentation in terms of what has been raised. If it is covered in this presentation, then an annexure won't be necessary, or so that whatever that we are raising as an engagement or question, we can be referred also to the annexure. Then we will accept the annexure as such. The DM.
Thank you, Chair. Over to you then officially. We'll deal with that as it comes maybe as questions.
Thank you once again, TM. We appreciate the presentations as we received them, as it is a follow-up in terms of what we've observed as a select committee when we've made our oversight with some of the improvements in terms of the presentations and also, with some of the regressions and indeed, because we interacted with the report specifically on the question of the Nogotola, school for the special needs. Remember when we were there, there were already pending issues that couldn't be, responded to on the basis that there were investigations. And the report that we're getting under Noktola really is not acceptable. I think I must start there. Is not acceptable, and I do not think that any of the members will be able, because it can't be a continuous issue because when we were there were reports that were waited for. Our only worry at DM and also the Honorable MEC is one and is one and only. The situation there is deteriorating. I can imagine with the current climate change that we're confronted with, if any incident took place there, the government of the day will have to take responsibility on a matter that needs a decision. The decision that the department is not, showing or making any element of taking the decision unto. We know the situation there, and the current climate change. That's my only worry. Poor workmanship cannot be tolerated in the department. I think it's one thing that we must, at all material times when we're making this presentation, that we are not going to take it as a select committee. We identified poor workmanship, at least some form of a progress in terms of addressing or redressing the issues that we have identified, specifically on those that are not, technically needed. There were simple issues there that we should have been responded to, but it's not even tried to be highlighted. And then the report even is not highlighting when is this report. This report, in terms of the time frame. So that one for me is not acceptable. I don't think that we're going to accept it as a select committee. We will further need, further engagement and detailed information, because we put money there. It's the money of the department. It's the taxpayers' money that must really be taken care of. We know the situation. We're not going to be lamenting in terms of the situation that we seen there. The second part, I will allow members. I think we must appreciate the progress indeed, because there is a progress in some of the issues, specifically because we propose that you can't have a situation of safety, in the schools that is not attended to. Honorable Du Plessis, will you mute this? And we propose that there must be collaboration between your community safety, your communities. Utilize the amapanya-panya. Do not politicize it, but in as much as we acknowledge that they are not necessarily capacitated as police, but there must be that collaboration. If they are identifying something, at least there must be visibility, because I remember in one of the schools, it was easier for the community just to come in and do whatever they wanted to do. At least if you have more of those people, if you have element of not having enough police, just to have those people, and police must be visible and available whenever they are needed, just as an interim measure of responding. I can see that you do have that, but we will need to have more of those because it's already available a resource that not necessarily need recruitment and also expenditure. You know, you already have people that are within. And we saw in one school, I think is in Tembisa, where they were already available, readily available and assisting in safeguarding the premises of the school. So I think on those one, if it can be a uniformity in terms of the question of safety, we know the areas are not the same. Other areas, you know, are more, you know, dangerous than the others, but utilize what you have in order to respond. And also the issue of these temporary classes that are availed is appreciated, but in one of the schools, I don't know whether it's I don't know these areas. I think it's Soshanguve, where it was identified that those temporary classes, when it is cold, they are very, very cold. When it is hot, even at the time, the kids were sweating. It was difficult for them. They are not necessarily, we spoke with the HOD to say, look, this needs to be addressed. It's the good work that is appreciated, but it needs to be addressed so that it can accommodate the current challenge that were in the interim, because these are interim measures, you know. Yes, indeed, I hope that those have been addressed. The other one, you see this one of a teacher. I don't know what the department, because the department has not highlighted what its response when it was told by the principal that there are issues of financial implications. Remember, if you have a vacancy and that vacancy cannot be filled, any failure, you know, and non-progress will be blamed to the particular issue of not having of incapacity in terms of a human resource, you know, in a particular vacancy. Then it bothers back to the department. I think that one also I just need further clarity on it, so that we do not accept something that we to say no, there is no, it must be allowed to continue. If it's you know, continuous, then there will be no response in terms of that. So those are the issues that I wanted to raise. Then if there is any other issue that I'm you know, once all other members engage, then I will take it on board. So I just wanted to appreciate the presentation regarding, you know, the progress that have been made specifically on the responses, but not limited only to the responses, but because our oversight was not only based to what we've seen or what we saw, and also appreciate, you know, the processing of the Bella Act, because it's very important that every legislation that the government is passing in order to regulate and better the environment becomes a reality, even though that we know that there will be those who want to. In fact, there were those who were really, you know, taking a particular direction of not accepting to be united under, you know, one roof. I think it's appreciated, and also how you are responding to independent school, you know, because the independent schools have a tendency of not, you know, even though they are government dependent, partially, if I'm using it, but they are not totally independent. They are regulated also under one roof. So I think what we are currently doing also in terms of assisting them, so that this mentality that they are having, that they will do as they please because they are, you know, termed independent. That independence also can also be properly defined and characterized, you know, because it can't be a situation of certain they are no go. I think the Bella Act is really addressing that TM. So I must appreciate, and then this independent school must be flagged in the form of, so that every assistance that they are receiving, whenever they are trying, to be arrogant, because sometimes they become arrogant, and we saw the incidences that were taking place. They were claiming their independence, forgetting that also they are dependent. That it must be openly, it must be an information that is availed to everyone, so that their independence can be properly and contextualized correctly. You see, so I appreciate that from the side of the department, HOD. I think you are doing a very good work there on that side. I will just allow other members, honorable members. Can I note hands for engagement in terms of what has been presented as the responses in terms of our issues that we've raised as a select committee. Thank you very much. Honorable Sibande, I only see your hand. If there is, okay, Honorable Finis, if there is any other hand that I do not see, I will also be lenient to that. Can I give these two hands, Honorable Sibande and Honorable Finis, in that order, honorable members?
Yes, Honorable Chair. I agree with the report, but also to emphasize the thing which you've raised about Nugutula School. You can't remember that school was what a very expensive infrastructure, which was challenged. I don't know whether it's the same school which I will talk about, which was challenged also outside about the place where it is. It shows that a lot of water if it's raining, and it causes erosion. If it's that school, I'll also add to say, please attend to the school. And to other things, I'm happy, Chairperson, because they are responding on what we have raised. But lastly, I'll appeal to good DM, talk to your staff. They must take us serious about things, Zama phones. This is not for the first time whereby we engage the department as well as Zama provinces. And some of the people, their intention at the end, information, we don't expect those things. Our colleagues, they mustn't make us to be very suspicious on some of the things which are happening. Because I spoke with some of this, they were attended to, but there are 4 which are still the same, which is iPhone, no name, iPad, no name, and phone number 52616801, and phone number 151829116. By saying that, I'll request that in future, this thing must be attended to. Failing which, I'll recommend that the chairperson, if anybody doesn't listen, we cut them off in our meetings. Thank you, Chairperson. But nevertheless, to say I support the report. Thank you.
Honorable Phyllis.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, I just want to welcome the presentation as well. There is just some issues. The first one is the Lancia Vale Secondary School. If the department can please provide us with evidence that the district have followed up on the arson case with the police, and what is the findings in terms of that case that was reported. And then the district as well as the department must give us information that they engage with SAPS for visibility in the area around the school. to enhance and enforce the current safety measures within the school premises. We acknowledge that the presentations today address school safety in general, but we as the Select Committee would request that they provide specific details concerning this Lancia Vale Secondary School. And then the second school is the Nukutula School. The one thing that was really also an issue was the school's drainage system. If they can give us more info, is it addressed, or what is their plans in terms of addressing that one? And then is also the investigation report over the theft of 83 solar panels and 6 electric stoves, which was stolen before premises was occupied. What is the updated information regarding that? And then the other one is the one of Tembisa Commerce and Entrepreneurship School. Is there any evidence regarding the department that assisted the school in finishing its library with furniture and reading material so that the learners can use this library to their best ability? And then the other one is the Lebogang Primary School. They must please provide us with information that the department, that concern that we have raised about the NSNP not providing adequate food for all learners at the school, and they should have increased the supply for the learners. And then the Philadelphia Special Secondary School. For the DBE, can they please provide an update concerning recent media reports linked to Blind SA and EELC claiming they had identified more than 10 special needs hostels in the country that have violated human rights? That is all from me. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson.
Honorable Mukwele.
No, thanks, Chairperson. Let me start by apologizing, man. Yeah, I was struggling with the network, but I didn't want to make any comment because of the network problem. But I've been triggered by Honorable Sibande when he was raising an issue of Noktula Special School, the school that we have once visited. Chair, I should think you remember. But Chair, I want to agree with Honorable Sibanda that remember, Chair, we raised this matter several times with the department. We also raised this matter with the department, the provincial department. I should think, Chair, now what I'm suggesting to this select committee, I should think we need to call the Department of Education in Gauteng. But like I'm saying, we'll be directed by your good self. That is why I'm saying that I was in and out because of network, so that they can tell us, because according to me, there is no any interest to show that, because remember that school, Chair, the situation is still like that. I remember last month I passed there. The situation in that area is still like that. And then you remember that situation, it is also next to the residential area. We are not talking of the inside part whereby there is a lot of money that has been spent. So I'm suggesting that maybe through your office, through yourself as the chair, you need to guide us so that maybe we call them, they can account. Because if we can't do it like this, we'll be going there again. Because I know this year we are not going there. We need to go to other provinces. But if the situation is still like that, I should think it's going to be a problem. So, but we'll be guided by your good self, Chair. That is the only comment that I wanted to make. Other than that, I really apologize because of the network problem that it was troubling me today. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Du Plessis.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to start off by apologizing for interrupting. It is unfair for me to have done it. It was unfortunately an accident and happens often in these sort of setups. Chair, with your indulgence, I do have a few specific questions, and I do want to say thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you for sending off these questions and following up this important matter of basic education within Gauteng. And the first question is reasonably hypothetical, and it is, how many people in the Department of Gauteng Basic Education's children go to public schools? And I wonder sometimes if people really do see what is happening on the ground, or if the focus is on giving good reporting. So the questions, I think by it have been asked, but they want to end on. Obviously, Nokutulo is a problem. If there hasn't been any improvement, there hasn't been any major shifts within that special needs school. It's not the only special needs school within Gauteng that is a challenge, and I really am wondering why this is really happening. The more specific questions would be with regards to the maintenance budget over the past 10 years. What has it been? And has it been utilized properly over the past 10, 15 to 20 years? Because I'm concerned if money was budgeted and it wasn't spent on what it needed to be spent on, and especially now that the department is saying they have a 4 billion rand backlog, what money sort of, is there money that has not been spent what it needed to be spent on? An example would be e-tracking. I'm quite certain e-tracking has been budgeted for previously, and now it's a new project. What happened to the money previously spent on that? The next question is there an audit done on the quintile level and fees school? There are many no-fee schools that are either quintile 4 or 5. And that's a problem. So I'd like to find out if an audit has been done with regards to that. The sports, arts and culture question wasn't entirely answered. It was basically answered with some people have access, some people don't have access, some people share. But I'm wondering, is there a strategy in place to ensure that people at least have access? I had access to a town sports field and arts and culture. It wasn't on the sports ground, on the school ground. So it's completely, it happens quite often that people need to access outside of the school grounds. And then the PPPs are mentioned. What are the successful PPPs? What is the strategy with regards to the PPPs? And how are they being managed? And are there any ones that we can engage on that have been successfully implemented, and what are future plans? Then with regards to asbestos, I know it's not a question we asked specifically, but I'd like to get an update from the department regarding the asbestos schools in Gauteng specifically. And then last but not least, it's a very difficult, actually two last questions. It's a very difficult question to answer. Migration isn't going to stop. And I asked this question when we were on the ground, has any forward planning been done with population growth, as well as the potential of legal migration coming into the country? And are there things put in place, interventions put in place that would mitigate the impact of both population growth as well as migration? And then the last one, there was talk about gangsterism blitzes. Where have they taken place, and what are the success stories with regards to that? And again, Chair, I would like to apologize for the unmuting incidences. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Du Plessis. Is there any other member that want to have a bite? Because we are not going to allow any other hand on the matter. But what we will request DM and Honorable MEC, some of the issues that are not covered can be responded unto in writing. Remember, this is a continuous engagement that is not going to be ending now. The issue that I do not want to, even if to bother yourself by responding is the one of Noctula. Noctula is just an unacceptable report that has been made here. We need full response. Remember, the issues are not the same of these schools, cannot be treated as the same. So I do not want your good self to waste time. Remember, there are issues of technical issues that were raised there that we dealt with. The question of your licensing and so forth. Everything that we've raised is not captured in the report. Hence, I'm saying I do not want us to make any waste time with regard to that. I know the question of school transport, well, we said is a moving target. Today, the numbers are on this side. Tomorrow, the numbers are on that side. It's well and good and understandable, but the processes that must be properly managed so that we do not waste money. I think I saw something with regard to that one on the report, that at least there are measures that are being put in place, and also the I don't want to use wrong wording, whether agencies or what, that were dismissed on the specifically on the purposes of not doing what they were expected to do. It's applaudable indeed, because we do not want to have any money that is going to be disappearing along the way on the basis of situation have changed. We appreciate that one. But the issue, the one last issue that I wanted to check, it was highlighted on the report, is the question of Department of Public Works buildings that can be utilized in order to overcome. Remember, these buildings are on different areas. Some of these buildings are central. Just to check that relations. It is not only this department that we are engaging to have relations with other departments too, that can, because there are a lot of, if you can go to Gqeberha, where I'm coming from, we have a ghost down there. The buildings belong to Department of Public Works. It's nothing that is being done, So I'm trying to say to check the relationship that is being built so that we don't encounter similar problems where you are going to have Department of Public Works buildings that are just there for criminals, because they are they contribute a lot, to criminality, because these people just go there and hide themselves. No one knows who's staying there or not staying there. It's endangering, whilst we are fighting, crime and so on this side, but the department is contributing also in the form of providing, these criminals, by hiding space. So I'm trying to say, I will understand if there are no relations, but want to hear the progress in terms of that. So I will allow the responses, TM. I'm handing it over back to you, TM, as I've done. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chair. Yes, I am in the meeting. Thank you so much. And we appreciate the comments by the department, and to say that there is an improvement in some of the areas, and there are areas that I have declined. I think the MEC and I will want to visit the Nogutula Special School and see exactly what's happening. But I will now hand over to the MEC, who will cascade down to the officials to give the specific questions, and then we take the process forward. MEC?
Thank you, TM. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members, for the feedback and further clarity questions. With regard to the Chair, I want to agree with you about the state and considering the investment that was done there and the further investment that is expected for us to do there as well. It is a big concern. And largely, as you all know, that our implementing agent was our Provincial Public Works, DIT. And we've been having problems with getting occupancy certificate and this issue and that issue as well that been coming up. So with the recent movements that have been taking place in the provincial administration, of which we'll see the current HOD of education moving into that particular department, I'm hoping that it will mean that we'll get to better understand why, to a large extent, we have not been getting joy from the provincial implementing agent. But I agree that it is a painful site, Tula, and it's a beautiful infrastructure. It's a beautiful infrastructure. But for it to be underutilized like this is something that I understand the chair and other members' concern around it. But however, for further details, I'll give. There will be. We do have the DDG education support as well here, and that the acting chief director, they should be able to clarify anything beyond. And then the other one, Honorable Duplessis speaks about population control. Last time I checked, and I'm sure you're all aware, Honorable Chair, Honorable DM, is that Gauteng does not have borders where we can put a fence and say no one must come in here. We don't have borders. People cross the border from Limpopo, go across the whole province to get to Gauteng. If we were to speak about foreign nationals in the main, they go through Mpumalanga and they walk all the way to Gauteng, and they go from all over, northwest, wherever. We don't have borders except the two international airports. So to control the population is something that I can't say we have a strategy, and to devise one will not even make sense. In migration to urban centers is a global phenomenon. It has got nothing to do with Gauteng being itself. Of course, also the prospects of opportunities is what drives people to the province. And with that, it makes every single target to be a moving target. Literally everything you do, it's a moving target. Because on average, according to the Statistics General report, he says Gauteng gets around about between 500 and 1,500 people a day moving into the province. That's according to the Statistics General. So that one becomes a bit difficult. But what I can say to a member, we don't have borders. So I'm going to say we're not even porous. We're a province within, we're landlocked province within our country. So its access is for everyone, in particular our neighboring provinces. So that on its own, it becomes very difficult. So and the challenge with that, you can't plan. You can plan for what you have, but you plan on anticipation. On anticipation, I mean, for instance, the previous year, for our grade 1 and grade 8, we have seen a 7% increase in the learner population for grade 1s. And we've seen there's a trend of an increase in primary school. In the past, we used to have more learners coming in after post primary education. Now there's an increase now at primary level, moving into secondary. So our primary schools now also numbers are picking up quickly. So many people are coming in with their families immediately. Before it used to be parents, and then and then they will put the children at secondary school level. And so it's difficult, but we anticipate, we plan and anticipate that we always should be expecting an increase in our learner population. Another thing is, the school safety it's a crime problem, members. Yes, we have seen a reduction of around 7%, statistically, in the province, based on the number of interventions that have been made by a provincial government, which for us it's really a breakthrough, because it means that we are beginning to push back. But naysayers will say that's because people are not reporting. And now I would ask, why were they reporting before? And what makes them not report now? So there's always that negativity that people, naysayers, always be saying. But it is a problem, and it's not all communities. There are communities which gangsterism is a problem. And for instance, I'll give Eldorado Park. When there's a gang fight, whether it's the Fast Guns or the other group, I mean, they write on social media, on Facebook, hey, on this day, tell your kids and everybody to stay home. It's going to, everyone who's in the state will shoot. And that's what literally, in some instances, happens. So obviously, then our schools in those areas definitely are affected. They're affected, during our school safety business, we're able to also pick up that schools are also turned into theft. The gangsterism in the school, in some of the schools, is because of gangsters are seeing school as a theft, distribution theft, so they have to fight for it, control for it. So we've had some great success. Even those schools, we managed to stabilize them to show that there's relative calm, there's dangerous weapons, the daily search and seizures on a daily basis in those particular schools. And it didn't go down well at first. I can tell you, at some point, one of those securities that were deployed in one of those schools, Elena stabbed the security because they were taking the knife. So we've done a lot of progress there, a lot of progress. I recently, in my budget speech, I highlighted that I've received a number of emails from principals, SGP, parents in those communities or schools which used to have a lot of problems in relation to learner discipline. And saying thank you for the intervention. Since you've brought in this intervention, we are able to see significant progress from our children. Our children are always eager to go to school. There's an improvement in results and so forth. So there has been great improvement, but it's an ongoing intervention. So now we will be focusing more on advocacy, because that's where we feel that we should. Instead of dealing with the effect, now we're going for the cause. But obviously the cause, you cannot do the cause internally in the school parameter and ignore the cause outside, which finds itself inside. So we're taking a different approach. We're adding to the interventions that we're doing. We're not reducing the intervention, we're adding to them. So I will give to the HOD, DM. I'll give to the HOD. But however, some of the questions also, they will require us to give a written response, so that we need to go back and check and really give the honorable members, the committee, the proper response, proper answer. The biggest fear that I have, Deputy Minister, is to be told that you lied to the NCOP. You know what happens when they say you lie. They act on you. So in order to avoid lies, I would humbly, with all due respect, that some of the issues that have been raised by the members, we take them, we'll give a written response with accurate information. And further, appreciate obviously the advice and counsel at the same time that we've been getting. Let me just give to the HOD.
Thank you very much, MEC. I hope you hear me.
I can.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks, Honourable Chairperson, Honourable members, and DM for the opportunity. I think MEC has covered most of the questions and issues raised. I only have 4 ones which I want to add, and maybe if there's a need for colleagues to come in, they can do so. But I take the point from the MEC to say some of the more detailed responses to these questions should be in writing. Firstly, I want to also indicate that I accompany the select committee when they win Gauteng to various schools. And as we go into these schools, we managed to be joined by the district officials who were also taking note of the issues raised per school. And immediately after that particular engagements, the district made sure that there were follow-ups on matters or specific matters which were raised per school. Like, for instance, if you take the issue of Leboham Primary in Garangua on the NSP program, the district handled that from Tshwane West District. The same applies to Tembisa Commerce. The library in there was also assigned to Ekurhuleni North District, and the list goes on. Just to indicate that the issues raised were localized to ensure that they are handled instantly as per the inputs made by the select committee. The second matter which I would like to raise is just to amplify the point raised by the MEC, to say indeed the Noktula Elsen School is a beautiful school, massive, with all relevant amenities required for learners with those kind of disabilities. However, there were some issues relating to infrastructure, structural problems, which we immediately after the visit of the select committee, even over and above the letters we wrote to DID, we escalated the matter to DID to ensure that they take responsibility with the contractor who built the school to ensure that all those structural damages or weaknesses are addressed. But in hindsight, I think as a Department of Education, as a user department, we may maybe going forward commission our own assessment technical team so that when we write to DID, we don't write to DID from a management and governance perspective, but we also write to them from a technical perspective with technical assessment which has been done on the school. When the select committee visited the school, there were also issues of outstanding municipal services like water and electricity. Over the last year, we managed to bail them out with about 2.5 million to pay off all their outstanding municipal bills. And as we speak, they're up to date and they are now able to pay the bills on their own as per the allocations which we sent to them as part of the subsidies. On the issue of maintenance, maybe just quickly, indeed, we transfer the maintenance budgets for minor repairs to schools every year. And those monies, yes, as per the report, are not sufficient, and we've got a backlog on maintenance in our schools. It's not because the money is not transferred to schools or the money is not utilized. Indeed, the money is utilized. Indeed, we transfer money to school, but we are arguing that it's not sufficient, given the fact that it's not only about the current maintenance, it's also about the proactive maintenance of our schools, given the fact that some of our schools are over 50-year-old, 30-year-old, and they need maintenance to avoid issues like it happened at Driehoek. So that backlog still remains. It remains a budget issue, which we need to take up through our budget processes. On the fourth and last matter, which was raised by Honorable Du Plessis about the issue of the blind SA taking Gauteng Department of Education to court. Indeed, they took us to court regarding Philadelphia Elson School, arguing that there are matters which we are not attending to in terms of the needs of those particular learners. And we believe that blind SA were taking us to court on the previous situations, which were 2 years old at Philadelphia, which we managed to resolve. And we went with the select committee at Philadelphia. They could see that the school moved from best as one of the best Elson schools in the province, based on the interventions which we had there from maintenance side, governance side, new SGB, and the new principal. The school is functional. Therefore, we could go to court, show evidence, and argue our points with documentation and everything. And we managed to win that particular case. And Blind SA lost it with cost, given the fact that what they were raising were historical issues, which are not a current situation as we speak on that particular school. Therefore, Philadelphia, even honorable members, we worked with them in all facets of that particular school. Select committee was quite satisfied, and therefore there was no case to answer for from Blind SA. The court ruled against them. I think those are the matters which I want to raise, MEC, as per your guidance, unless if there are other colleagues who want to add. But these were the four which I wanted to elevate and highlight to the honorable members as to our action from the province. Thank you, MEC. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thanks, DM and honorable members.
Thank you, actually. Chair, the DM requested that I fill in for her because she's going into another meeting. And so that is our response to the. Am I audible?
Yes, leadership, you are indeed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was saying that that's our response. So all the other questions that were raised by other members, as I've said earlier, we request to respond in writing so that we can give accurate answers. Is that in order, Chair?
Yes, Honorable. Let me see. We release UTM indeed, thanking her also for always being amongst our midst whenever we are having engagements. We appreciate that. But at the same time, Honorable MEC, we must also once again thank you for your responses, and then where there are shortcomings in terms of those responses, you do acknowledge them and then take it upon yourselves rather than being defensive on something that is there for everyone to see. Yes, the reason why we didn't want that even to engage on this question of Noctula, we understood what are the matters there. We want to assist the department, also the province, in following up to all of those matters. We know that some of those things might be beyond your reach, but there are a lot of resources that have been, invested, that should have been utilized to other things. It is not only the question of, it's not the challenge. There is not a minor challenge. It is the question. Hence, I have argued that is the question of poor workmanship and whether negligently, claimed to be finished, even though that some of the finishes didn't even come closer to the required standard. For instance, the swimming pool, for warm, I don't know how to call it, but where you put with warm waters, it cannot be utilized. It must be rebuilt. Then it can't be just a normal technical issue, that one. It must go back to someone who have built it. The question of paving, that is moving. Remember, you will be, most of the time, the wheelchairs will be utilized there by those kids. So you can't utilize, going to cause some more problems because they just put some small bricks. Those bricks are moving, are dangerous even to yourself, when we are moving around. Okay, I do not want to dwell much on those issues. So I agree when we are committing that there will be response. I agree with you. The question of crime is a moving target. It's a societal issue, but as it is, we cannot allow an environment for our children to be accepted. Measures are there just to minimize. We know we cannot accept our kids to be introduced to drugs. Schools cannot be drug dens. We can't. We can't give out our society to criminals. We can't. There are men and women out there who are prepared to put their lives in ensuring that we are fighting this. South Africa cannot be a mafia state. We can't accept that. We will never accept that. There are many scenarios that we can make where the crime was unbearable, and then people were even those who are in authorities really were collaborating with these criminals, but the will of the people, emerged. So even in the situation that we have highlighted, Honorable MEC, we're here, we will make sure that we are giving the necessary support to the department. I know you have a very good team that is led by Mr. HOD. I don't know whether it's a correct name, if I still capturing it, Mr. Rufus. You see, so I think the information now, I mean, in terms of the responses, we will require Honorable MEC. It must not just within 7 days, so that we can interact with whatever that is going to be, sent to us, and then we see which direction we take after we receive those responses from your good selves. I doubt very much if there is any other issue that is left behind. We will proceed with our agenda. We thank you very much once again, and also the DM and the minister in their absence. We know that they are always with us, and also Honorable MEC and then your team. You are released for this purpose, but we'll continue to engage. Our secretariat will exchange the necessary information, and then while we will interact with it, and then once we see that we still need your further assistance, then we will do as we've done also to ensure that we are engaging further. Thank you very much, honorable members, for being with us. Also, can you highlight what is our next in our agenda, Mr. Kula? I see you have taken over from Ms. Kak.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. We're looking off.
Yes.
Chair, we have one set of minutes. I'll just upload them, Chair.
Thank you very much. You can proceed uploading them for the members to note. Honorable members, the minutes are there. They were sent to us for interactions. Anything that we feel that was not properly captured, and then further engagement on the matters. Can we agree that are the true reflection if they are so? Honorable Mukwele.
No, thanks very much, Chair. Chair, I went through all sets of the set of minutes, and I found that is the true reflection of what transpired in the particular meeting. And thank you. I therefore move that we accept them as the true reflection. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mukwele. Honorable Finis.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I second the proposal of Honorable Mukwele.
Thank you, honorable members. That comes to an end of our meeting. If I'm, can we all of us once again let me appreciate your participation, also your presence in the meeting. Our meeting stands adjourned, honorable members. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lalo.
Recording stopped.